Hey, welcome back to week 2 of my learning journey to learn how to be a web developer. Uh, since I left you last, I dived into CSS, and now I'm just finished off jQuery. A bit of a, I think a jump. I'm not really sure if I should have done jQuery right away. I don't even know how to apply like just standard JavaScript yet to uh, your CSS or to your HTML. So it was really cool to learn about jQuery. I think it's incredibly useful. Learned about event listeners and um, tree traversal, traversing a DOM, and just accessing different elements or classes or IDs through um, through like the methods, the jQuery methods. So really excited. Got to do some fun things, little projects. One project that I did involved um, like keystrokes. So when like it was a key up listener, and I ended up when anytime like I typed into a text box, I would have a second text box that would copy the keys, and then I could also use some drop down menus to change the text. So it would be a different font or a different boldness or even size. So it was fun coding that, and yeah, I learned quite a bit. So where I'm trying to get to, so with the boot camp, I finished the prep material that they presented up until a big stretch project, and they have a disclaimer there letting you know that there's a lot of material that you need to learn on your own in order to cover that. So that's where jQuery came in. I thought that I needed it. So the project itself is an API bar graph. So the user can input like there's like three different properties for the function. They can tell you in a list what the numbers are for the bar graph, and you got to take those digits and put it into a bar graph. So I know like that's why I had to go revisit CSS or just get more familiar with CSS because I need to understand like Flexbox or Grid, or like how I could use those things to build out a graph, right? So I have some ideas. I think I might want to use a graph, and then depending on how many numbers are given in the list, so I check the list length, and then I do a repeat on the number of columns. So some rough idea there. I still don't know, like I understand what an API is, right? It's basically server-side JavaScript, and I can go access that off the server, so I can give it to anybody can go get it. So I don't know how to write server-side JavaScript yet. So my next self learning, which is going to be today, is to learn continue on the JavaScript journey and learn Node.js, and then after that maybe some Express.js before coming back to the final project. So I still have some time to figure that out, and I think it's just going to keep preparing me for the boot camp to come. So boot camp is starting in about a month. So I have a lot to learn still. Very exciting. Like this is all really cool. Watching your changes happen real time on a web page is very satisfying, and just watching those animations and the sliders, the lists drop, and it's just really neat. So still very excited about this process. I'm getting really excited for the boot camp now, and just imagining just what I'll know when I come out of it. So really exciting. So that's a little bit of an update on me and things that have been going on since my last update. Being in this field and just having more time to think. Right, I'm not going to work right now. I'm studying full time. This is my second week now. Like my last videos are reflected on why personally I thought this was a good move for me because of COVID and keeping my family safe. But there's also the grander scheme of like where the world is going. And I really I listen, and I think Elon Musk is a really cool guy. So I was listening to him describe, what Tesla is, and it's not a car company, right? He says it's a tech company. And then another company that I'm really interested in right now is called Lucid, another electric car company, and they don't define themselves either as an electric car company. They define themselves as a tech company. So, that got me thinking about the future of work and the future of success for businesses. I think is not in defining themselves as like, the traditional, retailer or, tire company or whatever they are. It's about doing it in the framework of the tech industry, right? So when I was leaving my job in as a warehouse supervisor, for the last 12 years, all my tools were built in-house on Excel and Access. And as cool and flexible as that is for a business, it comes with a lot of limitations. If the people who built it leave, there's no real, experience on, what's going on with these complicated Access or Excel tools, and you leave a hole in the organization, and that leaders have to fill, and it can be very challenging. They also break the maintenance of it. One wrong step on a shared file, it stops working for everybody. So what my company was doing is they were, hiring tons and tons of developers, and I worked for an international company, and they were stationed out in the U.S. These tech people, but I was on conference calls with them, and they were building web-based tools, reporting tools that were replacing all the Access and Excel stuff that I was using. So so they were just getting my ideas on like what do I need and why I need it, and just those were the meetings I was in prior to me leaving. And that was another thing that was like, wow, this is really cool that these tech big international companies are moving towards this web-based reporting, and it makes a lot of sense, right? They want to be forward thinking. They want to be tech savvy, and that's part of being competitive, being successful in today's industry. So where does that apply to you and me? Well, that means that if you the faster you move in the tech industry in this expanding bubble, the more opportunities you're going to have, right? So obviously you need to enjoy the coding process. You want to get the feel for it before you dive in. I did a small Python micro credential through a college in my area. It took me about a year to complete, but yeah, and that kind of gave me an idea of why I liked coding, and now that's why I can jump into it with 2 feet with confidence. So it's good on a personal level, and it's also good on a macro level with where businesses need to be going to survive. So yeah, I'm very excited for the journey today. Today, like I said, is just continuing to learn JavaScript and how to code it on the back end. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on how my Bargraph API, as I assemble all of the different tools and skills that I need to do that final project. It's very, very cool. And yeah, okay. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Bye.